I'm Luke Summerhays, and I love Fuecoco. It's never been officially said out loud by the Pokémon Company, but fans have long inferred that the Fire-type starters each represent an animal from the Chinese zodiac. In some cases, like Scorbunny and Tepig, this works perfectly. In other cases, it can be a bit of a stretch. A Charizard is kind of a dragon, and I guess a fox is sort of a dog. Assuming this was a deliberate pattern, coming into the 9th generation we had 4 animals left: a goat, a horse, an ox, or a snake. When Fuecoco was revealed, its dinosaur-like body shape led people to think maybe it was going to be the serpent, but it was a bit of a stretch. He is hoping the evolutions clear things up, eh? Fuecoco itself is an adorable little goofball. A chubby, round, bipedal crocodile, it is mostly red with a bone-white face. A Fire-type Pokemon, Fuecoco is topped off by a little tuft of fire from the top of its head, which makes it resemble a hot pepper on the vine. Pokémon Violet tells us, its flame sac is small, so energy is always leaking out. This energy is released from the dent atop Fuecoco's head, and flickers to and fro. We see at the very start of the game this way in which Fuecoco cannot control its fire. A leaf on its nose makes it sneeze and incinerate an apple, which it then attempts to eat. Be it a snake, dinosaur, or crocodile, any of these animals is cold-blooded, ironic for a Fire-type monster. The Pokédex actually addresses this, Scarlet telling us, it lies on warm rocks and uses the heat absorbed by its square-shaped scales to create fire energy. The name Fuecoco combines the Spanish words fuego, meaning fire, and cocodrilo, or crocodile. Similarly, the Japanese name is a combination of the Japanese word ho, or fire, and the English gator. Interestingly, on top of this, hoguera is Spanish for bonfire. Fuecoco still doesn't yet become any more snake-like when, at level 16, it evolves into Crocalor. The Day of the Dead, or Dia de los Muertos, is perhaps the ultimate example of Latin America's post-colonial culture. Born from the marriage of native death gods and ancestor worship, and the Catholic religion brought by conquistadors, the holiday is a bittersweet and deeply important night for some, and an excuse to dress up like a skeleton and party for others. Crocalor is a somewhat comical bipedal crocodile. Its chubby body gives it the vibe of a mascot costume, or even Barney the dinosaur. Topped off by what appears to be a sombrero on top of its head, this is hardly an imposing predator. This hat, along with an outfit which Crocalor's belly pattern somewhat resembles, is the iconic look of a mariachi singer, the classic Mexican musical style. Crocalor isn't the best example of that musical style just yet, but it's trying. Pokémon Violet tells us, the valve in Crocalor's fame sac is closely connected to its vocal cords. This Pokemon utters a guttural cry as it spews flames every which way. The name Crocalor simply combines crocodile with alor, the Spanish word for heat. The Japanese name Achigeta combines achi, the Japanese equivalent of ouch, which is specifically used when something is hot, and which, coincidentally, I often hear when my Japanese friends and colleagues wash their hands after me. And alligator. It also sounds a little like mariachi, referring again to the singing and the hat. That isn't actually a hat though. As Pokémon Scarlet tells us, the combination of Crocalor's fire energy and overflowing vitality has caused an egg-shaped fireball to appear on the Pokémon's head. Eventually, the egg will hatch, incubated as it is in Crocalor's flames. Crocalor's pale face and large eyes are initially comical, but they look much more skull-like in retrospect when, at level 36, it evolves into Skeledirge. Crocodiles on the River Nile, far away from Spain or its many former colonies, are famous for a symbiotic relationship which they share with the Egyptian plover. a small bird. The bird will live on the crocodile's head, essentially, picking food from the croc's teeth. This is sustenance for the bird, hygiene for the croc, and adorable for us to see. Skeledirge is, in a reverse Sprigatito, now fully quadrupedal down on its 4 legs, looking every bit a fearsome crocodile. A skeletal pattern on its face and body exaggerates the Day of the Dead theme, and fire spewing from its mouth, like its earlier form's hat, resembles the yellow Mexican marigolds often left at graves or on parade routes. Crocalor's egg has now hatched into a little round spiritual bird, which bounces around on Skeledirge's nose and head, replicating the real-life symbiosis, while adding a ghost typing to Skeledirge's fire. Pokemon Scarlet explains, "The fiery bird changes shape when Skeledirge sings. Rumor has it that the bird was born when the fireball on Skeledirge's head gained a soul." While Crocalor could only make guttural sounds, Skeledirge is now a much more accomplished singer. Pokemon Violet tells us, "Skeledirge's gentle singing soothes the souls of all that hear it. It burns its enemies to a crisp with flames of over 5,400 degrees Fahrenheit. This manifests as a signature move, Torch Song, a powerful fire move which also raises Skeledirge's special attack. Brilliantly, when using the move, Skeledirge's little firebird friend moonlights as a microphone. The name Skeledirge is extremely evocative, combining skeleton and dirge, a mournful funeral song. Combined with the fearsome appearance, it is a far cry from the goofy Crocalor. The Japanese name in this case is a little less subtle. Loudbone. From comical origins, this Pokemon develops into a pretty gnarly final form. Skeledirge is long, slender, in many ways quite serpentine. But, no, I can't do it. This is a crocodile through and through. Not a snake. An animal that is not on the Zodiac. At least, not in China or Japan. In neighbouring Mongol cultures and parts of Turkey and the Persian Empire, a version of the Zodiac replaced the mythical dragon with the more down-to-earth crocodile. So, I guess this kind of is still a Zodiac animal. The jury's still out. Music for Luke Loves Pokemon is by Jonathan Cromie. Artwork for the show is by Katie Groves. Writing, producing, and editing is all by me, Luke Summerhays, and funding is provided by lovely listeners at patreon.com/podcastiopodcastius. I love it when you guys get in touch. Hit me up on Twitter or Facebook at LukeLovesPKMN and let me know your thoughts about our next monsters, Quaxley and Lechonk, or share your love for any Pokemon. Also, join me Friday and Saturday nights from 8 PM UK time at twitch.tv/LukeLovesPKMN for my streams. Even if you don't feel like doing any of that, thank you so much just for listening. I love Fuecoco, and remember, I love you too.